Welcome to part two with Aaron Devries, the inclusive dad on Wisdom on the Front Porch.
Cool. Cool. So she's got aspirations that
Yep.
that she wants to go. Is she going to continue to live at home with her mom and you?
So yeah, as of right now, the plan is she's gonna live at home. I mean, I'm 40. What am I? 47. Her mom's similar age, so we're starting to talk about what we need to do just to make sure stuff's in place. If one of us can't take care of her, that kind of stuff. So
Right.
as of
Right.
right now, the plan is to live at home, but I mean, we need to start figuring out options of future stuff for her also. But
Wow.
connecting to the entrepreneur piece, she loves computers, so she's when she comes over now, she helps me. Like she has helped me type in the words for the episode titles for a couple of my
Oh, nice.
podcasts. So she likes to help out and stuff. So I sold a couple t-shirts, so she's gonna help me package those up and send them out. So she loves to help and work with Dad. So
Oh,
um
good.
so we're
Yeah.
gonna do some of that stuff to have her something to do too. So
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I know I would have loved to worked with my dad, for
yeah.
what he did. He did, when he wasn't working, he did a lot of welding and things
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, stayed out of there, allergic to metal, so that didn't help.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
I was like, okay. But that's really cool that there's,
Yep. Yeah, I was very
planning
fortunate.
ahead for her.
I was very fortunate. Like I said, my dad and grandpa started a welding shop. So I mean, I don't know what age, but for many years I worked alongside my dad and grandpa. So I mean, I was very blessed to
Oh,
be able to spend a lot of time doing that, and it was a lot of fun. So
oh, that's great. That's great. I love it. Do you still weld?
I haven't for a while. I mean, I probably could, but it's been probably, I don't
Yeah.
even know, 3 to 5 years since I have, but yeah, I can.
I didn't know if you made artwork or anything now or little
No, I do
trinkets or
not, but
anything.
no, I don't. I mean, for me, like arts, I'm not very artsy. So, I mean, I've
Oh,
tried to draw or paint, and usually what ends
uh,
up happening in my brain, it looks really amazing. And then when I try to get it out of my head and onto something, it just doesn't look the same. So
yeah.
it gets frustrated.
So, so someone said to me, if you can write your name, you can draw. And oh, I know who it was. It wasn't said to me. It was watching an interview with Red Skelton, the only interview he ever did. And
Okay.
he was saying, if you can write your name, you can draw. It's the same principle. And it's like,
Okay.
oh, that's interesting. Okay. But I'm actually painting
Okay.
and it's taken me a long time to do it, but I want to take my time
Yeah.
and make it look right because usually I think I've been in too much of a hurry before
Okay.
or I want to add something else to it and that one kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
When I add something else like, no, you got to know when. So
Yeah.
I'm taking my time so I won't do that.
There
But
you go.
as we grow, it's like our businesses, as our businesses grow, as time goes on, we find other things that work and don't work, and maybe something didn't work before because we didn't have the experience or the knowledge, whatever it was. Well, now we might have it. And so maybe we can try something again, but in a different way.
For
Um,
sure.
Yes, and I like that, you said I just take off whenever I want to. I know that you can't do that. There are times when you have meetings
Yeah,
planned
for
that you
sure.
have to, but there are times when you can rearrange things
Yep.
so you can get it done. So that's real exciting.
Yes. It's been a lot of fun. Like I think yesterday when I uploaded my pictures, I'm at 400 and over 400 pictures of fish I've caught since like June.
Oh,
So yeah,
so
it's
what are
been
you
pretty
gonna do with that? That could be an art project right there,
all the
put
pictures.
it on canvas or something
Yeah,
or
maybe.
come up with different ideas for it. Like,
Yeah.
so obviously you love photography to a point, you know. You
Yeah,
have to take
that's
good
also
pictures or you wouldn't save them.
that's true. Well, the fish ones, I don't know if they're all good pictures. I just want to take a picture for like a record, but I have been going for
Yeah.
walks at the local nature center recently, and I found myself just spending a lot of time just looking around and how sunlight hits something and taking pictures. So I think there
Oh,
definitely is
nice.
some photography, nature photography kind of piece where I want to spend more time doing that because yeah, it's just kind of cool when you're out there. And Sunday I was out there thinking like this is like the only moment ever in the history of time where the sun's probably going to be hitting that exactly how it is. So like
Yeah.
capturing that specific moment, which
Good for you.
so it's been kind of fun. And then but even like the painting thing where it's I could take a picture and like the picture doesn't look exactly like it does to your eyes, sometimes it's
Right.
way better, sometimes it's not, but you take a picture and like, I thought that was gonna look good, but that just does not look good. So it's kind of the experimenting thing, trying to see if it's gonna work or not is kind of fun too.
That's really good. And that's, entrepreneurs are creative and
Yeah,
adventurous. It's I think we have to be in order to take on something as big as starting your own business
yeah,
when you've never done it before. So
for sure.
that's really great. So gosh, you've gone from uh finding out that your child was going to be different. Your son, there's
No,
he's doesn't have the issues that your daughter does.
no, he's 6'9", so he's super tall.
Oh,
And he
wow.
when he was in school, he was on what they call like the gifted and talented. So he was on that side of the spectrum
Yeah.
continuum. She was on the special ed side. So we kind of experienced like the both ends of it, where he had
Wow.
similar. He didn't like getting pulled out of class to like go to a different class to learn like get his gifted like time or whatever.
Yeah.
So he kind of experienced like similar. I mean, not completely similar, but he's experienced the different things that come with that too. So we kind of had
Right.
both ends of it. So yeah, but he doesn't have any like health diagnoses or any diagnoses
Okay.
like that. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
besides being
So
super tall, which he has to duck through most doors and
yeah.
has to watch ceilings and all that stuff. So
My uncles were very tall,
okay,
very, very tall, all way over 6 foot.
yeah,
And I was super short.
yeah.
And I would like stretch my arms on the monkey bars. Of course,
Hmm.
that would have been the only thing that would have grown.
Right,
But anything I could to be tall like they were.
yeah.
And it is, you have challenges on both ends of what it is. Um, Now, I know we've talked before and you said he's just on board with everything with his sister and helping out. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I mean they get along pretty well. He loves helping her and that type of thing.
Oh,
He
nice.
he has his own place and stuff, so he's not around a lot. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's still supportive of everything, and they love each other. So
that's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. I keep thinking of all the different families we grew up around and it's like, I'd like to say things, but I can't do comparison because
yeah,
there's no reason to do that. Each is so unique in their own way and how things are done but yet being able to go to school, go into buildings. I meant like going through the doors, up the
yeah.
stairs or ramps or what have you. Um, and that is one thing I'd like to ask you. You were talking about the American Disabilities Act and do you find that there are a lot of places that haven't, um, uh, I
I
want
mean,
to say
I mean,
conformed, but that's not the right word, that have
I
set up
mean,
everything?
overall, I feel like I don't know percentage, but a good chunk of things are accessible. But just
Okay,
what was it? Yesterday was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday actually. I was at the post office here in town. They have two handicap spots. One of them is kind of in the drive up, so you just kind of pull over and park there. There's another one kind of
right.
on the end of the building. I walk around. I took a picture because there's a dumpster sitting in the handicap. The sign's on the wall. It's painted on the ground, and then there's a dumpster sitting right in that stall. And I was like, so I
Oh
mean,
my.
there's that. The park that I walk, we live kind of by a lake, so there's a bike path, and you walk through a parking lot. That parking lot has no marked handicap spots. There should be at least one by law. So I mean, overall, I feel like it's a lot of things are accessible, but there's still, I mean, it's not
There's
completely,
still
and there's still things
okay.
that, I mean, that's just stuff that I know just around here. I mean, there's still like curb cuts on streets that haven't been, redone, that aren't, usually they wait until they redo the street or road, to
Right,
do
right.
that. So there's still streets that haven't been, and so there's still things. I mean, we haven't, there hasn't really been like a building that we haven't been able to get into with her. I mean, there's
Okay.
been somewhere that like the entrance to get in of an older building might be around back by the, the dumpster to get
Okay.
in. So, which isn't very welcoming. So there's just, I normally, if we go someplace, like we love concerts, so usually I'll call them and ask, to get the tickets to make sure I don't buy too many, because of the, the one that usually if there's an ADA seat that comes with like a companion seat for like me to sit by her. So I want to make sure I do that, and then you make sure it's
Okay.
accessible. But overall, nothing major. But it's like I said, that's just, I saw the dumpster sitting in this stall, and I was like, why is that even, like, why is it there? Like, you guys know it shouldn't be
Yeah.
there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Wow.
it's, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. We think, once something gets done like that, that it would all be, but,
yeah.
life
That's
is
that's
life.
that's the thing though. Like about, I speak about the awareness piece. My partner, we've been together, will be almost 3 years, I think, and she wasn't around somebody that used a wheelchair, to the extent she is now, with my daughter. So she talks about, she knew about ADA. There was a law, so you can't, and she didn't have any like familiarity with it. So she kind of assumes that there's a law that's taken care of. And she said more than once to me, like, I just didn't even realize there was so many things that aren't accessible or
Oh,
not the way they
wow.
should be, even with the law. So I feel like a lot, that's what, with the awareness piece, just talking about it, bring some, some level of awareness. And then, I talk about it, then people are looking around more and they notice stuff, bring it up too. So I think it's the awareness thing, and talking, sharing our stories, telling, our experiences is very important, I feel.
Yeah. Yep. That's very true. Very true. Wow, this has been really good. Thank you so much for being on my show. We're not done
Absolutely.
yet, but I
Yeah.
just really want to thank you for sharing on this and talking about it. Um, so are there some suggestions, hints, tips, whatever you want to call it, to people who are trying to start out their entrepreneurial journey that you could offer to them? And then we'll talk about people that have already been on their journey, or maybe questions you would like to ask them or find out. But let's talk
So
about those just
tips
starting out first.
tips for starting out. I mean, I think a big tip is you just need to really know what your why is. I mean, to figure out what your why is, and really understand it. Because for me, my why, we talked about it. I'm really passionate about it, which helps for sure on the days when you don't want to do something, or I mean, I have inclusion tattooed on my arm, so I mean,
Oh,
it's
there you
pretty.
go. Yeah.
So it's right there. It's always with me. So I mean, for me, like, knowing the why is very important. Um, and just, yeah, that's a big one. And just kind of knowing, I guess, why you're doing it, or what are you, like I said, for me, it's flexibility. What's the reason you
Hmm.
want to be, what's the reason you want to be an entrepreneur? Whatever the reason, money, whatever it is for you, just figuring that stuff out. So then
Okay.
that, like I said, for me too, just like, don't be so hard on yourself, because I'm super
Mhm.
hard on myself. So I feel like that's a good tip. Just, you're gonna
Yeah,
make mistakes. It's
definitely.
not it's not always gonna be fun and games. So just keep sticking with it, and don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Now you've got more of a journey to go. So let's say you're sitting on a park bench. We've talked to the person who hasn't quite gotten as far as you, but now there's someone who's gone much further than you. What is something you would like to know from them?
Mm,
It's kind of a tough one, huh?
Um, I mean, this just popped in my head, so I don't know if it's why it popped in my head, but the question that just popped in my head is to ask them, was it all worth it? No, I'm not sure why that popped into my head, but
No, but
um,
that's good because I
um,
was talking with, I talk with a lot of people, but I was talking with somebody today who said, I have talked with so many people because he's a big coach, and he says I've talked
Okay.
with so many people that don't pursue their purpose. They just do it because they
Yeah.
think they're going to make money at it. So for them, answering your question, for them, it wasn't worth it. And they can't figure out why they're so unsatisfied with what they're doing because they're really good at it.
Right.
But you bring up a really good question. What you ask for the new person, what is your why? Why are you doing it?
Right.
But I like your question was it worth it? Was it worth, let me put words in your mouth. You tell me if they're the wrong words. Was it
Sure.
worth all the long hours? Was it worth all of the struggle and the pain that you go through? Because there's a lot of really good victories
Yeah.
too, you know, but all the decisions and trying to figure out what to do and who to talk to and where to get your voice heard. Those
Yeah.
are things we want to know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's all, but everything you said there is kind of tied into it, I feel. Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Really great question. I enjoy that.
Thanks.
So tell us again what you do, only, really talk about what you do for other people.
Sure. So yeah, I help advocate or coach. So I help families. So for example, families contact me. Usually I want to switch it more to like coaching. So people hire me before there's a problem. Because usually a lot of the connotation with the word advocate is the school and parent are already butting heads and there's a problem. So the parent hires an advocate to come in and, you know, fix everything. So I want to try to move it more towards like hire me, we work together, so everything keeps running.
Preventative.
Preventative more that way. But normally a family will contact me when something's not going right, or I mean, other parents contact me, just something comes up, doesn't sound right. I'm like, am I crazy? No, you're not crazy. You're a parent. That something's prompting you to ask that question. So just validating. You are the parent, you are your the expert of your child, you know the most about them, you're with them the most, so trust your gut, and then just help them. So in the IEP process or individualized education plan process, special ed, there's a meeting once a year. So just helping the parents sit down with them before the meeting. What are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish at the meeting? Writing it all down, attending the meeting with them, helping them, answer questions that come up there, or just, keeping track of, hey, before we met, we had these 5 things we wanted to talk about. We've only talked about 3. Let's make sure we cover the last 2. And then after the meeting, meeting with them again, how did it go? How do we want to follow up, that type of thing. And then that's kind of the main ones. Usually I get called into those, and then just, helping them, questions that come up, that kind of thing. So that's how I help I help families now. And then just the podcast, interviewing either people with disabilities or family members, just talking about about inclusion, their journey, just giving a platform for people to, share their stories and get it out there more.
Right, right. And it's good to share stories because that's where you start finding solutions. It's where you
Yeah, for
start
sure.
realizing this really does need to be taken care of. So, what is your podcast called, and where can people see it or hear
It's
it?
called the Inclusive Dad podcast, or the Inclusive Dad, I think it's just called. It's on Spotify, Apple, all the platforms, and then on there's a YouTube channel for it, the Inclusive Dad. So the videos
Okay.
of it are on there, and the audio, and I think there's the video's on Spotify too, but it's on all those platforms you can find it.
Yeah, yeah. I was glad to see Spotify started doing the videos
Yeah.
too. Um, and so how do they get a hold of you to ask you questions,
Sure.
to just find out what to do? And
The easiest way is just go to my website, theinclusivedad.com, and all my contact info is on there. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and everywhere too. But just the website is the best place. And also you can, there's a page on there that has all the episodes for the podcast with and you can listen to them or watch the video, and then show notes and stuff. So it's a good place to find all this stuff.
Excellent, excellent. Oh, do you have any parting words?
I just appreciate being on the podcast, being able to share more of my story that I don't talk about usually. So that was a great opportunity, and just everybody find something you can do today to make the world more inclusive.
I love that. I love that. So we still have a few minutes. So
Yeah.
what is your definition of inclusive?
That's a great. I don't have one written down. If I'm being honest, I know I should. For me, just inclusion is just being able to, from being able to go to the same places, do the same things, and not be excluded just because of. I talk about disability most, like for my daughter, not just because she's in a wheelchair shouldn't mean she can't go to some place if she wants to.
Right.
That thing, but inclusion for me, I can't be pro inclusion for people with disabilities and at the same time, not want somebody because of their skin color to be included. So for me, it's, in all that stuff, kind of inclusion of people for everybody's included and not excluded for, skin color, race, able to walk, not able to walk. So just
Right.
having access to things and having access to the stuff that you want to do. Like for her, like I said, if she wants to go to a place, she should, not being excluded because she's in a wheelchair, or having the same access and being able to do things you want to do.
Yeah, that's
I need to
really
get
great.
I need to get that way more like
There you go.
nailed down now. Thanks for that.
Well, you get it. You'll come back on the show. You'll
There
have
you
it. There we go. It'll just be nailed down right there.
Yep.
Well, thanks, Aaron, for being on my show. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it. I love to hear about what you're doing and watching your journey. I mean, that's just thrilling to see that you you keep growing and you keep doing more and wow, you got another TEDx. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Well, and this year I'm two-time published author now. I'm in the Born to
Two
Risk list.
times.
Well, I was in the Born to Risk one, and then the Catalyzed,
Yeah, right there.
the last Collective Leaders Academy Summit. I'm in that book, so yeah, I've been
Yeah,
two-time now.
yeah.
So
Oh, that's
it's been a
wonderful.
heck of a year.
Yeah. So have you written a book?
No, I've not
No.
written a
Is
personal book.
that
No.
something you want to do?
Yeah, I think I do want to write a book of some sort. At some point, yes.
Yeah. Not sure what kind or
Not to me, it'd be easier to do like one more about inclusion type thing
yeah.
than just more like a personal telling a lot of my stories, because a lot of them I don't have them written down.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely want to do like a book that's my own book probably.
Right. Right. Would it be talking about being a dad and raising a child that doesn't fit the norm of what society thinks is normal? Or would it be different than that?
Um,
There you go.
that's also a
Author's
good.
getting at me. Coach
No,
getting at me.
that's
Talk
also a
about
good
this
question.
book.
That's also a good question, because usually, I call myself the inclusive dad, so people have thought of it more like me talking to other dads, and that's not. It's more of a global message and just specifically to dads.
Yeah.
Although at the same time, I do know there is need for that, because I haven't really found a lot of stuff for dads.
Okay.
Honestly, so I feel like there probably is a need for it. That's not usually where I go to in my brain. So
Yeah.
that's a good question. You got me thinking now.
That's all right. I did my job.
There you go. You got me thinking. Yeah.
That's my coaching there.
Yeah.
And yes, if you want to write a book, get a hold of me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's
Well,
what I do,
we've
obviously.
we've talked before a little bit about it, but yeah, I'm still wanting to do maybe even related to the podcast, somehow do where you pull some stuff out of each episode and make it kind of
Oh, that's great.
some kind
Yeah.
of a first book for so many episodes, kind of pull stuff out and put it in there like a summary-ish type book. See how, I don't know. So I got different stuff floating around, so I'm sure we'll be in touch to talk about that some more.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So, hey, there's another hint
There you
for
go.
anyone that wants to be an author, because authors are entrepreneurs, that's just great. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've talked about lifestyle, we've talked about the entrepreneurial culture, we've talked about a little bit of personal stuff that way too. I don't think we talk so much personal about what it's like being a dad in that, but let's save that for another show.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much for being here. Um, tell us again, Aaron, how they can get a hold of you if
Sure.
someone needs to get a hold of you.
Absolutely. Just go to my website, theinclusivedad.com, and that'll have all my information.
All righty. All right. Well, thanks so much for being here with us, sitting on the front porch, sharing the wisdom of Aaron, and we'll see you next time on Wisdom on the Front Porch.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, LS Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and receive a second year absolutely free. This is a limited time offer available exclusively to those who mention the name of today's podcast. Join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.